Hey guys, welcome to our week 6 video. We finished checkpoint 1 last Friday, and you should have feedback on that up on Schoology. I double checked this morning to make sure that that had all gone through, so it should be great. Let me know via email if you have any other questions about where you're up to. A couple of people will need help clarifying their thesis, but a lot of you had really good web links that you'd gone and looked up on either medical negligence or recreational negligence, depending on which sort of scenario and topic you'd chosen. The big thing with the thesis is that it's a statement that you're going to argue against and for. And so it depends on, what your basic thoughts are on the topic as to how you phrase that thesis. But once you've got that thesis figured out, you can then go from there and start adding in arguments to support it, maybe some arguments not to support it because it's an argumentative essay. So you want to show that there are different points of view on it. And then, you really strongly finish with your points in favour of what you're saying because you're trying to convince your audience that you are right. An example of this, if you just take a really simple example, would be mobile phones. Let's say that every school in Queensland allowed people to have mobile phones, but a negligence case was brought before the District Court in Brisbane about a student filming a fight on a mobile phone. They could make a legal recommendation out of that case that said that because a student was very seriously injured while it was being filmed on a mobile phone, that banning mobile phones would actually ban part of the reason why there were schoolyard fights like that and why the negligence occurred on the part of the school. And so you can see what I'm saying here. You can make a legal recommendation out of a case where harm has occurred to somebody who is owed a duty of care, in this case a school student. And you would use evidence from that case. It's hypothetical, I know, but you would use evidence from that case to support your argument that we need to ban mobile phones, and that will therefore ensure that the laws in Queensland better protect young people. You'd also want to really think about how, in terms of your assignment, it's not real. Like, it'd be nice if you could just make a recommendation and the whole law of negligence would somehow be changed and you would set legal precedent. But it's okay to realise that partly what you're arguing is hypothetical. It's a bit like debating. Like if you had a debate, I remember one of mine at school was roses are better than cabbages. And I had to argue in favour of that roses are better than cabbages. Now that wasn't going to change, how florists and, vegetable sellers act for the rest of their lives. It was a hypothetical debate. By the way, the trick with that debate is to realise that roses represent aesthetic, pleasant things and cabbages represent necessary or kind of boring things. But we need cabbages to survive and we don't need roses to survive unless you're really into art or aesthetic things or beauty. So yeah, just keep in mind that it's not so critical that you need to stress about the recommendation being like the thing that's going to completely fix the entire legal system. It's you meeting the requirements of an assignment by coming up with a recommendation. Okay, so the big thing to focus on now is checkpoint 2. And for checkpoint 2, there's a document, it's already up on Schoology, and it's got basically a step-by-step thing where you're going to have the reasons you're going to argue in favour and the reasons you are going to argue against your topic. And I've given you a hypothetical there. It's about somebody being injured on a school camp, and you would then, find things to back that up and then start making legal recommendations from that situation. The other thing to focus on is how you can then draw in some of the stuff from checkpoint 1, e.g. your thesis. You can start linking back in all of your evidence that you had for checkpoint 1 where you had links and things that you were going to use. You can use laws to back yourself up. You can use statistics to back up what you're saying and all of those kind of things. If you have questions, please email me. It's a little bit hard to understand where people are at if they don't communicate with me. Thanks, guys.